let me ask you this about winning, because I wanted to go shift to winning in terms of like the broader aspect of it. In your estimation, what do you think is the biggest difference between winning games during the regular season and winning titles at the end of the season? What's the biggest shift there?
I don't know, unless you have extremely like the team that's already done it and really veteran team that knows a little bit how to turn it on. For me, it's not that much of a difference between the regular season and the playoffs. I mean, I'm the same from the first practice to, you know, just basically, like I said before, you need to give me your maximum. And it's just like this step every single day, you try to gain something. And yes, during the season, it is steps where you're taking 2 steps back, and I'm sure there's some certain circumstances why it's happening. But I believe in gaining this, and hopefully by the time the deciding games come, you're ready. You know exactly how to act in this situation. You've been there together. You have the trust that you've been there together. And those are important things.
It's what you're referring to, and I know what you mean, because we've talked about it before, is percentages. Because the percentages you add throughout the season, they add up to winning a title. That's what you're referring to. Can you give some examples of what are certain things, maybe even off the court, on and off the court, that you feel like are essential to building a championship caliber team?
I mean, you know, these are the things that we're talking one more time. It has nothing to do with basketball. You know, I'm talking about togetherness and really pulling for one another, but in a real way. You know, building the trust and having a good locker room, liking one another, making an effort for one another, being together, family atmosphere. I mean, it's so many of those things, and this is, for me, is nothing to do with basketball. Mm-hmm. Because at the end, yes, everybody will try. I mean, you try to have as many people who care. Obviously, everybody must care, but I don't know. Not always it will be your team. Maybe you're inheriting the teams. It's really complex, this situation. But I mean, discipline, it's extremely important for me, for example.
But like meals, like you said, traveling, controlling the travel and controlling meals, like obviously you have to trust the doctors as well. You gather the information that's needed. But all those things add up to 100% championship team. And then you want to give yourself the best shot possible. So even if a 1-2% chance of rebounding the ball for a player who's going to improve by 2% and is going to make one shot more, it's going to help at the end of the season. So I think those things are very, very important to understand, that building a culture of success depends on the percentages you gather throughout the season.
I think so also. There are no miracles. I don't think that you're going to come and you're going to play all of a sudden amazing basketball. I mean, it's just what you implement every single day. I mean, you know, it's just like we said, it's there, whatever you want to call it, 0.5%, 0.25%, whatever. Hopefully, like you said, at the end of the year, those things will turn out to be 100, or at least more than your opponent.
Yeah. How important is it to admit to mistakes from your experience?
I mean, it's crucial. Mm-hmm. It's crucial. If I'm asking the players, I always have I know I'm repeating myself with the players. I always say, listen, you are people, you're going to make mistakes. Make sure just don't make it 2 in a row, the same one. Make sure, if your third one, are you crazy? You in the level, at this level, you cannot make the third mistake like this. Obviously, it's substitution and everything, but everything for me, of course. But also the only people who can tell you about your mistakes, obviously media, most of them not really qualified, most of them, and your assistants. Mm-hmm. Your assistants. I mean, maybe sometimes in my case, you speak a lot about with GMs and stuff like this, because I have I have the boss of the section who were ACB players, Navarro, much more than that, so these guys seen also a lot of situation. And you talk after the game, you go for dinner, most of the time chances are we will talk about basketball,
Yeah.
You talk, you discuss.
It's like it has to be an environment of trust where you can trust each other, that it comes from a good place, that you admit to a mistake and it's not going to be held against you. Like there has to be a mutual trust and a mutual belief that it's going to the right direction, but everybody makes mistakes.
Exactly. And the worst thing that your workers will say about you or feel about you is probably, man, he don't listen to shit. I think this is the worst thing. If you have this type of relationship with your people, like, really, for me it would hurt. Like I said, I don't fake about my relationship with my staff. It's extremely important, but they also, I mean, they have to be ready to give honest information, like we already spoke about.